Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here with you live on Facebook. I'm here today with Beth Albaneze and Dr. Alexis McKenzie. I am Andrea Wolf. I'm the CEO of the BREM Foundation to Defeat Breast Cancer. Beth Albaneze is a certified rehab and recreation therapist, and she's the owner of House Calls LLC, which is a team of specialists providing mental health services at home and online. Dr. Alexis McKenzie is a wellness master clinician at House Calls LLC, and we are thrilled to be here today for this Facebook Live coffee talk about the new normal. Hi, Beth. Hi, Alexis.
Hello.
I'd love to tell everybody a little bit more about you. Beth, my understanding is that you are a longtime supporter of ours and that you have been involved since our creation, which is longer than I've been involved.
That's right.
You have had your own personal challenge and welcomed the support of the BREM family, which I am also a part of and am grateful for. You are the owner of the award-winning company House Calls LLC, which provides an array of specialized mental health services. I think I can speak for all of us saying that I think we need you now more than ever. Your team of diverse practitioners are all under one umbrella, serving everyone from children to senior citizens who are experiencing acute or chronic life stresses, which now feel chronic. Your specialists go to people's homes or wherever they are most comfortable, and they use unique techniques and strategies to enhance their total well-being. Services consist of counseling, life coaching, wellness, case management, recreation therapy, fitness advocacy, and referrals for other resources when needed. Thank you so much, Beth, for being here. Alexis, you are also incredibly impressive. I know that you serve as a spokesperson for House Calls LLC when you conduct webinars on a variety of wellness topics. And you're here with us today to discuss the now and how to center oneself using recipes for relaxation, stress reduction, and mindfulness. Thank you both so much. I know time is one of the most precious resources, and I am so grateful to have yours with us today. Beth, can you elaborate on what you mean by our new normal?
Of course. The new normal is thinking about who you are right now. Everybody has an identity, and it's comprised of attitudes, beliefs, values, behaviors, and of course your behavior tells your story. And normally, if you have a positive outlook on life and you have a clear identity, work identity, recreation identity, you have roles in your life that are satisfying. Right now, you're being challenged because of the pandemic and because you may have a medical or mental health diagnosis as well. It is very uncertain. Life is uncertain for all of us, so we have to adapt. So the way to do that is to try to figure out how you're going to discover new skills by looking into your old identity and seeing how you can make adaptations that way.
Thank you so much. What new insights and opportunities are you referring to when attempting to cope with challenges in your daily life?
Well, this is a perfect segue for me to say that a couple years ago, I had my own challenges, and thanks to early prevention and your wonderful mother, I have to add, I was very, very lucky. But at that time, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, my business is everything. That is my work identity. What am I going to do? I almost tried to get my radiation to match my schedule, and they started laughing because really my health was most important. So then I thought, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to see clients? How am I going to maintain this schedule? And it turned out that I talked to the contractors and we decided that we would make more of a virtual opportunity for our clients to go online and to work online. So I did that. And then instead of going to the gym, I wound up finding all different kinds of ways to have a virtual trainer, taking walks. And what did that do? Crisis turns into an opportunity because now it's automatic. I've already done that. And so this is what we need to do. And our business is more online than ever. So it's wonderful. So that was me. But then we have a client who was a soccer player and he can't do the soccer. So now he started to play golf. So he's discovered he's really good at golf. And so my goodness, he never even realized that he could take on a new recreational interest. We have a woman who joined a listserv in her neighborhood, and then she decided that wasn't enough. She needed more networking. So she started a group A grandmother who's bedridden right now doesn't know anything about devices, but she couldn't really relate to her grandchildren any other way than playing with them. So she learned how to do all the different applications where she has FaceTime with them and they have little effects on the bottom. She's really getting good at that too. I could go on and on, but my point is you take who you were again, you figure out who you are right now, and you try to incorporate it into your life the best way possible. But if you are having fear and anxiety and depression, it's going to block all that thinking. And that's when you may need a professional.
Thanks, Beth. So I think we've all acknowledged that everyone has ups and downs, and especially with the pandemic, we're feeling them more acutely than maybe we have before. But some people are facing even more severe medical and mental health challenges now. How do you suggest that they cope with their feelings and try to minimize the impact on their families?
Well, number one, the most important thing is to know that you're all going through it together. It's not just one person, it's a family system issue. And if you're exhausted, all of you may be exhausted, but the main thing is that you have to be the hope for the person who's the most exhausted, because they may not have the motivation right now. So how do you bring your lifestyle and their lifestyle together so they can continue to do at least some of the things they did before? Or if they've lost their will, how are you going to create an environment where it's a positive opportunity for them to have hopefulness? One idea we did with a family is first we came in and we advised them, and then we didn't want them to spend too much money on the resources professionally. So we decided we would help them create a legacy book. And I'm sure people have heard of legacy books, but they're very expensive. To do it as a family, we had everyone collecting pictures. Everyone got involved, from children to senior citizens. Everyone had a role. They brought the pictures together. They came over when they could with the social distancing in mind, but everyone was interviewed. The person that really was in bed was interviewed from bed on FaceTime, but the result was a wonderful legacy book that's going to go for years and years and years to their family. The other thing is of someone else we worked with, they were playing charades online, but every Friday night they had their charade time. You can have movie time. You can instill so many rituals at home in bed to create motivation and positivity. But if you don't have the motivation and you are the person suffering, you need to let people know so they can be your hopefulness.
So true. Thank you so much. These are great ideas, but what if you don't, and you already addressed some of this, but I'd like to know more deeply. What if someone doesn't have the motivation, money, transportation, family support, or whatever it is they need to implement these ideas? What should they do?
Well, a lot of times people don't realize that there's a lot of county resources out there. And there's two things to know. One, if you need to ask a professional for help, it doesn't have to be that expensive. I always tell people, just talk to us one time. And I guarantee you when you leave, you're going to have more opportunity to have scholarships, financial interventions, know how to advocate for yourself. So one thing is seek out a professional to help you. Find out where the county resources are. Find out where the volunteer drivers are. But also you yourself can self-advocate. Recreation departments will give scholarships. The Oasis for seniors will give scholarships. Knowing that you can play bridge online. You can start all kinds of things you were doing outside of your house. You can do them online, and that's free. You can ask neighbors to chip in, and you share the babysitting, so you can do what you need to do, but you all collectively get together. Even with the social distancing, I've had families have one child over, and the mothers can go out and do what they want, or they can be home and do what they want. So there's ways we can help you, but there's also ways you can be your own advocate.
That's right. And that's definitely something that the BREM Foundation stresses, is how to be your own advocate. I don't know, what cultures people are from, but in Judaism, the highest form of charity is not giving to somebody, but teaching them how to do it themselves. So that definitely resonates here. What if your loved ones don't understand how you're feeling or behaving? I think sometimes people feel lonely now.
Well, one thing I learned from teaching at Montgomery College, I taught in the mental health program for a long time, and I couldn't understand why Every college does not teach active listening to not only the professionals, but then the professionals can impart that to their families. When my kids were little, I would say to them, it sounds like you're feeling angry. Sounds like you're sad. And it really worked. They're in their 40s now. They are aware of their feelings. The first thing I tell families is that you need to be able to address your frustrations, but you need to do it coming from your heart and your soul, not judging somebody else. I feel very frustrated right now. I don't know what to do. How can I support you? If the person feels you don't understand, I don't think I'm explaining what I need right now. Let me start again. And if the family just is not on the same page and they feel judged, it could be the family feeling judged or the person going through this feeling judged. You're all experiencing something. Then you need to have a professional. You can do Zoom meetings and have coaching. You can have family mediation. You can do all things to de-stress. But the most important thing is try to have time out for yourself. If you're going through something, you need a break from the family. If the family's going through something with you, you need to take a breath and know how to just stay in the moment and don't hold grudges and don't carry all this unfinished business from before. You're in the new normal now.
That's exactly right. That definitely resonates here. Thank you so much, Beth. I'd like to move on to having a conversation with Alexis. Alexis, can you explain to us a little bit about your Victory a Day approach?
Absolutely. I think it's really important to break things down, just like when you're eating a pie. You can't eat the whole pie at one time. It's one slice at a time. And if you have just recently had a diagnosis, let's say of breast cancer, something like that, it is very stressful. You're trying to keep yourself together. You're trying to hold your family together. You're trying to deal with all these balls in the air that are unknowns. So just the mere fact that you got up that day, you took a shower, you made yourself something nutritious for breakfast, you fed your family, you checked in with friends or they checked in with you, you reached out, you felt your feelings, you acknowledged them. And it's really important to think of those as victories, even if you went outside for a walk. If you had a conversation on the phone with a friend, if you sat down and gave yourself 5 minutes and just did some deep breathing, that's a victory. It's truly breaking things down to the most simplistic form and acknowledging them for yourself.
It's really true. How would you advise someone to decrease their stress and even take the time to reflect, which feels like such a luxury right now? I know, I don't know if everybody here knows, but I have 4 young children and I have a job that I love and colleagues who I love. And right now, breathing and sleeping feel like a luxury, let alone like taking time to reflect. When this all started, I said to myself, I want to write every day and I want to remember this moment and it's so historic. And oh my God, if I get to the dishes, I feel lucky. So like, what do we do for people like that? What do we do?
The first thing I want you to do is learn this simple technique, and that is 1-3. In this moment, because that's all you really have, take 3 deep breaths. Because one of the things that we forget to do is just stop. We hold on to stress by stopping our breath. We don't even realize we're doing it. We start speaking faster. We start looking at things like they're huge, more, larger than what they really are. And many things are thrown at us, especially if you're a young mother and you have children running around. Everybody's needing something else. And you're trying to balance work and balance children and balance your own well-being. So I think it's important to really carve out space for yourself, even if it's every day, and tell your family every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm taking 15 minutes. Don't bother me. I'm going to be in my bedroom. I'm going to do this. You can set your children up with things to do, or you can have a friend call a friend and say, have your kids Zoom my kids, just something that occupies so that you can get that time. And it's really important when you think about sleep. If you're sleep deprived, that's also going to affect your mood. It's going to affect your body. So if you can rest while your children are taking a nap, if that's possible, even just to have a cup of tea, if it's not, then it's really important to carve out, even if it's in the evening before they go to bed, you've got to have time for yourself to take a breath, to refocus, to restart, and to recenter yourself. And it's important too, I think, to just give yourself a break. Let you know that your feelings are not right or wrong. They're your feelings. We all have them. We really do. I mean, sometimes it's like this little person that sits on your shoulder and tap, tap, tap. You don't want to do this today. You have to do it. So just, it's like the old saying, suck it up, buttercup. And then that can build resentment. So you have to say, I need help, you guys, okay? Everybody's going to have a little task today. How about you help mommy do this? How about you help mommy do that? Or how about you stay over here for 10 minutes and let mommy just make a cup of coffee?
And I don't want to make it sound like it's only moms with young kids who feel stretched for time now. I didn't mean to bring it back to me. I mean, I think there are a lot of reasons why people feel like they don't have a minute. There's so much to take care of. There's so much uncertainty. So just to be clear to our friends in the audience, that it's not just about people at my particular moment in life. Everybody's moment right now feels challenging.
Absolutely. And there are sandwich generations. There are people taking care of an elder in their home. I mean, before I did what I'm doing now, I was an Alzheimer's and related dementia specialist. So
which is even more stressful potentially, because if my kids get sick with COVID or something else, they'll be okay. When you have an elderly parent who's fragile and whose immune system is fragile, you have to be even more on guard,
Exactly. And that just creates another layer of stress. I mean, even meal preparations are difficult. People are suffering from anxiety right now, depression, situational depression. All of these things are just feeling like weights on our shoulders. One of the things, if you can get outside, I really encourage people to do that. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, just open that door, go outside, let nature take your body over, just feel the air, listen to the sounds. I mean, that in of itself, I mean, I have a wind chime outside on my porch that if I just go out there and sit and hear that and listen to the birds, I can't help but remember I need to breathe a little bit deeper and relax.
True. I think you may have addressed this question pretty well already, Alexis, but how can one settle their mind so that anxiety, depression, fatigue, and fear does not become overwhelming? I do agree with you that going outside, even taking, the people who live with you outside too, because they're also stressed. I mean, the kids have stuff that is weighing on them, and elderly people, Lord knows, have an enormous amount weighing on them. And everyone kind of feels like what they have is so much, but the person standing next to them has a fair load to bear as well. So are there any suggestions that you have that you haven't mentioned already to do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it would be helpful if people create some rituals for themselves. Sure. I think that it's so easy to get overwhelmed and let things starting to pile up. And then you lose sight of, wait a minute, if every day when I get up, I just had an attitude of gratitude. Thank you for waking me up today. Mm-hmm. Start with that. And then move on through your day. And by that, I mean, it's important to use what you can. There are so many apps out today now that are calming apps that people use. I mean, if you're an elder and you're not used to that kind of computer lingo or whatever, at the same time every day, share coffee with a friend over the phone. Let it's like, hi, Sylvia, let's have coffee today at 9 o'clock. Just have something to look forward to, because I think that's what starts happening. What do we have to look forward to? We're not dining out anymore. We're not being as social as we are anymore. We're not seeing our families every day. What my son does every day is take he and his 3 children out for a walk. And it's wonderful because they are outside and they are walking around and experiencing all kinds of beautiful things. It's also important to think about, what are your favorite books? Share those with a friend. Hey, I'm going to send you a book, or let's get into a book club. There are even Zoom happy hours that I had an author that I watched on a Zoom. She was promoting her book and it was wonderful. There are Zoom classes. But when things start to get too much, it is important to share that. because it's when we start keeping secrets about how we're really feeling that it builds a wall around us. And then we'll do an anger transfer, we'll act transference, we act out in some other way that we really don't mean, but we probably need someone to talk to. And it is helpful to call a professional, to reach out to somebody. That's very important, to share what's going on so that you don't have to feel that that's an added burden in your life.
Yeah. And for those who feel like they need help, you guys should definitely reach out to House Calls because they are amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap up today? I think, at least for me personally, this was incredibly helpful. I mean, everybody here, I think, knows that we are a breast cancer nonprofit and we do help people who are under stress. And so your wisdom today is obviously relevant to everyone in a pandemic, but particularly for the people we serve who either have or are worried about breast cancer. So I, for one, am very grateful.
Thank you. Well, it's an opportunity for me to say that we want to do everything we can because prevention is everything. And the BREM Foundation is so important in my life that I'm sure it's important in a lot of other people's lives as well. House Calls really was started in 2004 because I couldn't stand all the gaps in the system, and especially in the mental health system. And so now we have a team of contractors, from counselors to coaches to people who are addicted to substance abuse and alcohol. We have recovery coaches who come to the house. We have medical and mental health case management for seniors who need people to take them to the doctors and take notes because their children aren't in town and they really want to know what happened, to hoarding issues, to adolescents who are having anxiety and won't go to school, to children who have special needs and the families need to prepare them for the future. How are they going to have accommodations? You name it, we do it. We just are really grateful that we have so many good, seasoned professionals all in one-stop shopping. So if anybody needs anything, we get it for them or we have it.
It's really a wonderful service that you have, and I hope people take advantage of it, especially now.
Thanks so much.
I just wanted to share one last thing, and I found this beautiful, very short poem. We all are going through life changes as we age, and I'm happy to be here and to have met you all from the BREM Foundation. It's a wonderful organization, and especially with breast cancer, there are changes to our bodies, so this may be appropriate for you. A love note to my body. First of all, I want to say thank you for the heart you kept beating even when it was broken, for every answer you gave me in my gut, for loving me back even when I didn't know how to love you, for every time you recovered when I pushed you past our limits, for today, for waking up. And that was by Cleo Wade. So thank you for letting me share that.
Beautiful.
It's a great way for us to get through the rest of our day. I am so grateful for you and for your time and for your services. And I look forward to doing more impactful things that help others together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Pleasure.
a wonderful day.
You too.
Say hi to your mom.